Welcome to another episode of Avalon. I'm not doing by night anymore. We're going to start off. Actually, we never figured it out, but I'm going to let y'all figure it out. So, go ahead.
You'd probably get a phone call from me, Alicia.
Hi, me. Oh,
Yeah, Um,
Hello.
hello. You should probably just say you guys should come over here.
Where's over here?
She'd give you directions. It's somewhere between. It's specific, highly specific and detailed instructions and route from somewhere between the port and the theme park.
Really? Really?
Yes.
All the way on the other side of town right now. But fine,
Yeah.
fine. The wings could use some exercise anyway.
You'll find a building in sort of an off street. It'll be the only one with lights on. Mainly because the store is still open.
Alex is going to look up what the address is before going there.
I don't know street names, and well, you never made them
No,
halfway
no,
street
I mean
names.
what is the thing registered as at that address?
Oh, the thing registered at that place is a small shop called Mystics Haven.
At which point, assuming he's still on the phone with her when she's mentioning this, he's going to say, "You're a nerd, aren't you?"
Only a little.
Hmm. Anyway, so assuming that once everybody gets there,
You end up in the basement. There's books and papers and books.
we have found Damon's Fungin.
No, this is just the main office and
Oh,
storage area.
You know, if anyone loaded up a cigarette in here, this entire place would probably go up in smoke.
Good thing I don't allow smoking in here. Anyhow.
I noticed the sign, yes.
Yeah. So, the only news I have of any importance is, well, the mystic mumbo jumbo that is all over the country. After some amount of research, I've found that it's affecting everything and everyone. Humans are the most notably affected by it. They seem more sluggish.
interesting.
And meanwhile, I've been trolling for were-kitties.
Pardon?
You explain.
So, well, it sounds silly now, but you remember the lady from the bar we were gawking at?
Are you talking about the redhead or
The one that looked at
one of
us.
the strangers?
The one in the corner, drinking, that looked at us.
Yes.
Well, she had a tattoo on her arm from that weird, well, from that game, the werewolf game that people play. I don't play it, I play something else, but that werewolf game. Specifically, it's a tribe for, well, cats, big cats.
So they're a nerd.
How many nerds do you know that tattoo that kind of thing on their arm for everyone to see?
He pulls out a phone, he pushes a button, nerd tattoos. Second later, he's gonna show you the Google search.
I've been on the run too many years. Too many years. Well, either way, it's best to keep an eye on them and see if anything else odd pops up. And if there are shifters in the city, well, that's just bad news.
Yes and no. Generally, all of the others that we happen to have to share the night with are ostensibly allowed access to the city, so long as they don't cause any problems for us.
So you mean that funny You mean other than the really bad timing of them just, yeah, I don't know, being there at the same night?
You said that this effect is widely, it is very extensive. It's
Countrywide.
yes. The fact that
Yes.
4 of them happened to be in an Elysium at the time
With a
has nothing to
permission
do.
meeting.
Yes, but they also showed up afterwards. But still, that has nothing to do with the rest of the country. What I'm not saying that you're inherently wrong here, but what I'm stating is that before we go and start accusing what amounts to furry murderers, we need to make sure to have irrefutable proof.
I'm not saying accuse, I'm saying ears to the ground and eyes on, well, the streets.
Good.
And a gargoyle trolling the air.
That
This
helps
is
too.
the thing.
That helps too.
Anyway, so yes, I would greatly suggest then continuing to look into the matter. Both of you, frankly. Is Tove on board with this so far?
When we talked to her last, yeah.
Alright.
Oh yeah, you didn't hear. We didn't. I didn't. You weren't there for that discussion. Um, we did. I did find something else out in terms of where I end up. The Tremere clan can work, provided they never ask me to do any sort of blood rituals at all, ever.
Which seems a bit of a stretch, considering it's,
Their thing.
their core of what their clan is known for.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you'd be able to simply play it off as your idiot, now dead sire and just never taught it to you.
No. I don't think so. Even my idiot dead sire taught me the clan's discipline.
Taught you your clan's discipline.
Yes. And he was an idiot.
Yes.
As
Yes.
has been established.
What I'm trying to say though is maybe your Tremere sire didn't quite have as long before somebody bit him. Or before he bit it, I should say. Long enough to teach you the do's and don'ts without teaching you the how. For at least the discipline. It's hard to say, but ultimately, so if you're thinking that the Tremere are not as valid of an option,
That is my
what is the
current
rest of your
leaning.
then what is the rest of your thought?
Then true.
Interesting.
My unusual ways are easily explained by having been on the run for 10 years and having, well, no guidance.
They will
At all.
ask what you've been on the run from.
Well, my sire died, didn't he? He was slaughtered by Sabat. That's always something.
But they will ask why the Sabatas can still after you. And beyond that, one of the things that you'll have to make sure to keep in mind, and this is for either clan, if they there are members of both clans in the city that if I could affect you with my ability, I can almost guarantee they can affect you with theirs. And theirs, they can simply force you to spill whatever you know.
Then what? Do I stay independent and, well, alone? which could work. Be a hassle, but
Ultimately, as far as either side of it, you can either attempt to feign membership of one of the clans and then have their backing, or as a member of as a honorary member of our coterie, despite functioning as an independent, you would at least be offered some additional protections under Camarilla authority. Some. It would be at most a social issue. There would be nothing in actual Camarilla law that would protect you, as you would still be just another independent. But if it's known that you are a member of a coterie, then others know that there are kindred that have your back.
That potentially, by messing with the coterie, they could piss off individuals of a number of clans.
Uh-huh.
you see her start to say something a couple times, but she's not quite sure if she should say it, and she keeps shutting her mouth closed.
A thought only goes so. A thought is only helpful if you actually express it.
I have a teacher, a little bit out of the country, out of this country. Well, we talk fairly often, but I'm thinking I might be able to, well, as per our regular agreement, trade, but would the word of a teacher offer any assistance in any way, or is it just, well, me thinking down the rabbit hole?
Are they strictly somebody that happened to have taught you something, or
Oh,
is there
they.
someone who has actually vouched for you?
I don't know. Well, I
Because
lived with him for about 4 months.
I'll put it this way. Your best bet would be to have a Camarillan vampire of some repute actually vouch on your behalf. On that note, if someone from a Camarillan clan is having to vouch for you, they're going to want to know why you need somebody to do it. It may come to a point where in a private meeting with the prince, you may have to fess up to your actual clan to your actual clan heritage. Considering how much of a considering the prince's unique interests and hobby, or rather personal entertainment, them knowing your clan ancestry may end up making your life interesting. But at the same time, no one within Camarilla leadership can claim that you were presenting yourself as an infiltrator. Ultimately, this is the extent of your options. Feign membership of a clan and hope that you're not found out.
And if I
Stay
am,
as
I
an
get killed.
Oh yeah, hella quickly.
Yep.
Most of these options, if it goes poorly, involve your death. Because ultimately, you feign membership of a clan. You're found out, and you are killed quickly. You stay as an independent. If your clan ancestry is found out, you are killed, and quickly, by the sheriff. So ultimately, it's dependent upon two things: your ability to blend in as a Camarillan kindred, or your choices on who to fess up to. Ultimately, it is your decision. That said, if at any point your decision ends up implicating the rest of the coterie, I will deablerize you myself. And he's
That's a bit
completely straight-faced when
extreme.
he says that.
That's a bit extreme. You really, really?
He's just gonna look at Alms and just be like, just like still fucking deadpan. Out of character, Alms probably knows that yeah, he would not lightly diablerize somebody, but his job is to protect the coterie and the city. And so it's kind of one of those 6 in one hand, half dozen of the other. It's not likely based on his personality. He could be just saying it as an emphasis. But depending on how shitty the situation gets, he has a job to do.
Holmes goes very quiet. He does not like this talk of soul eating.
She sits there quiet and thinks for a few moments, and then it's like, so it's about as good as me flinging about my clan's discipline out everywhere. Great.
No, because having the prince aware, even if over some sort of event where things have gone horribly sideways and say the sheriff finds out, the sheriff may have the authority to stake a kindred and bring them before the prince, but even then, they are required by the prince to ask for right of destruction.
Yes, but I have, let us say, well, the main issue being I cannot guarantee silence.
Of the prince?
Of everyone that would know.
Ultimately, this is why it would be brought up if you were to be forthright with the information. That is why it would be in a private meeting with the prince.
And that would probably be the best way to do it.
Ultimately, it does depend on how the prince accepts this information. Frankly, that they are Bruja. They may stake you on site, or on the spot, I should say. But that stated, I don't believe that the prince would be quite so rash if you preface the whole discussion with what exactly you can offer the city. And considering our current conundrum, having somebody with mystical knowledge beyond the Tremir's knowledge could still be helpful. Which then, at the very minimum, would, assuming all of that goes well, would buy you time to prove your usefulness.
She thinks for a moment and says, with what is the information I have on the, countrywide matter of any, worth as anything as a gift. Gifts are always good to give to people.
Considering how well established some of the older vampires of the city are, it's quite possible that they have already tapped some contacts to figure out how widespread this issue is. But, at the very minimum, it does show initiative. And also it's a matter of whether or not those vampires have brought this information to the prince.
Again, she thinks for a moment.
Unfortunately, you're in a situation where there is no perfect answer.
Few things in life are ever perfect answers.
Yes, but I just seem to be ending up in the same trench. Or the same sewer. Well, no, different sewer, but it's all the same. Yeah, make the call to... Well, how does one make an appointment with the prince? Besides, I have, additional issues, I guess, but...
get in touch with the Harpy. The Harpy would be able to acknowledge the shop here. I'm assuming this is yours and you're not simply...
Oh yes, it is mine, all mine.
Make sure to address that with the Harpy. They would be able to recognize within that this company that this store belongs to you, and the honorary membership of being part of our coterie, they may be able to extend additional domain to the group based on your membership. Also, they can set up that meeting with the prince.
And how do I contact this Harpy?
Do you have a piece of paper?
She looks around the room. She looks at you. Looks around the room at the papers. You don't write in book. She muddles around. There's a printer down here. She finds a printer. She finds the printer, pulls out a piece of paper, slides it on the desk. No, we don't have paper here.
He's going to pull a pen out of his jacket and he's just going to write down whatever the Harpy's usual method of contact is. If it becomes necessary, you can bring up that I forwarded the contact information. It shouldn't really matter.
So, out of character, what is the contact information for the Harpy? Or is he
information bill?
Phone number.
A phone number? Okay. Well, she's right there. Everyone's right there. She says, please, at least, well, before I make this call, can you at least give me some guidance on what to say? I'm not so good with, well, talking to other people all that much.
Simply state your name, and that you're the one who introduced yourself at the meeting a few nights ago, and what you're calling about. Generally speaking, the Harpy is a busy individual. You're going to want to keep it short and sweet. So bring up your
shop and the what?
The shop, meeting, and that you have at least cursory information about this phenomena.
The phenomena.
And would like to know whom else to get into contact with to help try and find more information.
Who can I assist with it?
Exactly. The Harpy knows everyone. The Harpy is the social glue of the city, as it were.
Okay. Well, wish me luck. So she picks up the phone, rings the number, waits for someone to answer.
You get a confused hello?
Hello, my name is Alicia Garmson. I introduced myself at a Primogen meeting a couple nights ago.
I recall. I recall.
I'm here to discuss a couple of things. First of which, I own a shop at insert address here. How do I go about making this more official?
You have to speak to the prince on that matter.
That is good.
Pass along the message.
That is good because I do need to speak to the prince on a separate matter also, and wish to arrange some kind of meeting with him.
With her?
And lastly, I have cursory information in regards to the countrywide phenomena, and am inquiring on who to assist in researching the matter.
The Tremere are the ones we've gone to for digging up anything about it.
Thank you. Good evening.
Okay.
Hangs up. I hate
Good.
doing that.
You managed politeness. That's very good.
Yes. As I was mentioning somewhat earlier, the cursory membership of the Coterie will offer you some social protections, but ultimately, the unfortunate truth of the matter is that all individuals are always accountable for their own actions. So, when you do meet with the prince, be very deferential. Be very careful with your word choice. If it comes down to it, simply start the meeting with,
Someone we just saw.
Hmm?
Yeah, you. Sorry.
anyway, if you're unsure of your ability to speak, faster is probably the easiest way of putting it, while you're in that meeting with the prince, simply start with you're wanting to be as polite as possible, and so you want to make sure to take your time. And there's probably a better way of phrasing it, so put some consideration towards that before you meet with the prince.
So saying something like... She thinks for a moment. Well, I actually have to think for a moment.
Don't tell her that she reminds you of Alms. That is not likely something to be endearing. No offense, Alms.
None taken.
Out of character, the really easy out is to say, I would like to roll my charisma plus etiquette.
Which is going to be a, what? 1 dice.
I thought you had etiquette dots.
Nope.
No. He managed to
Don't
luck
roll
out
for
in his introduction roll just by rolling his charisma and getting away with it.
Yeah, don't roll your charisma. That
Yeah. That's why I have to think of actually what to say beforehand. Yeah.
as another out of character easy out, if she ever states that she doesn't understand the social thing, he will tutor the shit out of her.
You mean I can actually use my sire's idiocy as a way to get a lesson in the actual etiquette and ways of the Camarilla?
No, I mean, if she's like, I don't understand, I don't
Get it? Okay.
Yeah, like
To
again, this is
Alex,
just
yeah,
me
yeah.
out of character.
Okay, so she's sitting there, and you can almost see smoke coming out of her head. It's just, I don't understand any of this at all.
Did you ever go to high school anytime past the 60s?
Past the 60s, yes.
All right. The easiest way to I understand that the La Sombra have their own issues with how they run the Sabbat, and I understand that that's probably something that you were more educated on and why you're now here.
Yeah, well, my sire was idiot, but head sort of in the right plot space, but no matter, yes.
Ultimately, this is the thing. The Camarilla tradition, etiquette, presentation is everything. Everything is a facade. Everything is a mask.
Oh.
This is high school prom night for the rest of eternity. And you need to be able to know the steps of the dance.
Which
You need to know how to kiss someone's ass without making promises that you can't keep, and without making yourself seem subservient. Because everyone must defer to the prince. Anyone that seems soft-bellied gets gutted.
yeah.
This is the bullshit that we get to exist in. So, that said, it is an efficient system. The Kindred pretty much run this city, and only the Kindred know about it. Well, other supernaturals know about it, but frankly, we can exist far closer to humans and not be known. At least for what we really are. So, I'm assuming then that from what... So you don't understand any of the basic social protocols for introducing yourself other than introduce yourself to the prince to not get killed.
Yes. Yes, my sire didn't exactly go through with that. He was more concerned with other things. And then he got himself killed.
Didn't even go over with you the laws of the Camarilla.
Well, I believe he went over basic things. Things that make sense to me anyway. Don't go around killing people. Don't go showing your stuff.
Do you know about the traditions?
Nope.
He's just gonna put his face in one of his hands and just rub his eyes. I'm actually now trying to find the page that the traditions are straight up written out on.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time. Here we go, the traditions. There it is.
Let Alms say it.
Go ahead.
Alms actually starts listing them off, like, by memory, by rote. Thou shalt not reveal thy true nature to those not of the blood. Doing so shall renounce thy claims to the blood. Thou domain is thy concern. All others owe thee respect while in it. None may challenge thy world while in thy domain. Thou shalt only sire another with the permission of thine elder. Thou createst another, without thine elder's leave, both thou and thy progeny shall both be slain. Those thou create thine own children, until thy progeny shall be released, thou shalt command them in all things. Thy sins are thine to endure. Honor another's domain. When thou comest into a foreign city, thou shalt present thyself to one who ruleth within there. Without the word of acceptance, thou art nothing. Thou art forbidden to destroy another of thy kind. The night of destruction belongeth only to thine elder. Only thine eldest among thee shall call the blood hunt. And then he looks at Alex, he's just kind of like, how'd I do?
As far as verbatim, wonderful. As far as interpretation of the Camarilla law, keep in mind that the elder or eldest, ultimately in all of that, yes, someone who's older has most of those rights. But even they have to defer to the prince.
In all things.
Since the prince may not always be the eldest in the city.
Yeah, my sire Gortok basically made me recite those by rote for hours until I could get them.
There's more to it. There's the traditions are the basic premise, but there are a number of social faux pas to avoid while discussing things with the prince. But for now, that is secondary.
Damon, do you have any doubts in Kindred lore?
Me?
Yeah.
2. I got 2 dots.
And you already know the tradition.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. So,
When it comes to the traditions and anything about the Camarilla and the kindred themselves, that would be, just a basic inspection.
okay, so I have the basics then.
Etiquette is more just how you present yourself to people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your
Which I-
politeness, the way you act towards people. Your knowledge actually comes from the kindred lore.
Okay.
Anyway, Alms is probably because out of character. Isn't Alms the one that has 3 dots in etiquette, or was that your other thingy?
That was my other thingy. Alms doesn't have any dots in etiquette.
Okay, that's right. I just wanted to make sure. But anyway. Once you actually have a meeting time with the excuse me, with the prince, then well, frankly, between now and then, I will work on trying to make sure that you manage to have a conversation without insulting them and getting yourself staked, or at the very least, without
Yes.
actively pissing off the prince, because ultimately, being staked would be the most forgiving punishment that you could get. A quick death would be a merciful one. Anyway, that is an issue for later, and off screen. Um, as something else that I wanted to set up, I wanted to extend a Ventru tradition into the coterie. We all, eh, especially once you talk to the prince to see if the offer of domain would be extended, then in short, as a coterie, we have been sharing a number of resources because pulled together we are better than independent. That's the whole point. I wanted to extend this to our financial situation. I can set up an account where one of us would have the ability to withdraw funds, all of us would have the ability to deposit. It would be clean and it would be secure. And this would be funds strictly used for helping improve our lot in life, our lot in the city as a group.
I don't know, man. You know how I am with money.
Exactly, that's why I want to take it from you.
That
He's
makes
just
me
gonna
nervous.
smile at Holmes, like he
That
walks
makes me
into that
nervous.
corner.
But I can't doubt the wisdom in that. Oh, what am I even worried about? Not like I have any to actually worry about.
Not
I'd have
really,
to
no.
I have to go over my books. Provided I don't end up staked or dead. It should all. Once I pass all those hurdles, then. Well, that would be a little bit more of a serious discussion. Smooth out any other details to this. Other than that, it makes sense.
I'm going to be making a little bit of assumptions here about Icelandic taxes, but back to in character. It shouldn't be too difficult. All I'm expecting is, as far as a cursory notion, is 10 to 15% of the monthly profits deposited into the joint account in such a way that it would be looked at as a charity and thus a tax write-off.
Ooh, that's always nice. Well, like I said, if I'm alive, or whatever it is.
Oh, I think Alex is just being a little gloom and doom. I'm sure you'll do fine. With some help.
Yeah, it's the fact that I need help, especially with talking to people. Like, well, people in, well, uh,
It seems anything with a mouth.
oh, amongst friends I'm fine, but the official things always.
Alex is gonna just look over at Alms and be like, "See, keep telling you, you're too intimidating."
No, he's just fine.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm the intimidating one. She hasn't even watched me have to drop kick a man yet. Let me tell you, you want to see comedy? You watch me drop kick a man, and then watch him bounce. That's comedy.
What's your conscience, by the way? Again,
No.
coming from the guy whose character just threatened diablerie, so never mind.
His conscience is pretty low. His conscience is really low. I think I only have like 2 dots in it. His courage is high.
That bitch claims to be the sheriff. I'll drop kick him too. Anyway. Well, if either of you see Tove, forward the idea along. I plan on sometime soon trying to also get a secured method of communication that we can all use well, just between ourselves. But it should take a little bit of setting up, unfortunately.
These little pay-as-you-go phones ain't gonna work for it.
Not if we want it to be secured enough. I don't want somebody to be able to simply annex the phone records.
Also, out of character, I just realized I lied. I have 1 dot in etiquette. Just a single one.
You bastard. You lied to me. I don't think I can trust you anymore.
But yeah, virtues: 2 dots in conscience, 4 in self-control, and 4 in courage.
Anyway, now that these issues have all been addressed, was there anything else that you needed?
No, not at the moment. Well,
Right.
I guess the question is, do you need me to get anything done beyond, well, looking further into this, well, countrywide oddity?
Your first priority is to talk with the prince. As far as I'm concerned, the only other priority you have is dealing with this. It is the best way to try and secure your continued existence in the city, and as a group, it would certainly give us quite a bit more clout within the city. And additionally, if this is actually causing health issues for the Kine, we have to address this as quickly as possible. If you need any additional resources, you know how to get a hold of me. Also, what did the Harpy say in regards to who to talk to about it?
Prince. Or, well, in order to talk to us, well, for the business, the prince, so I've doubled up on that. As for research, I have to go and meet with the Tremere.
Did you get their contact information from the Harpy?
Out of character? I don't think so.
No,
Nope.
you didn't.
Nope. And it's back in character? No.
Does Alex have any of the contact information for some of the Tremere?
I would assume so.
He's gonna go ahead and write another phone number on the piece of paper.
Like I said. So, I guess I have the phone number now.
Alex, I would hope so.
Yes.
Anyway. If that's everything at this point, I have a couple of meetings to attend to.
Yep.
All right.
Anyone else need anything before I shut this off?
No, I believe that's scene.
Awesome. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more.